We are going to look at 3 crazy backhand serves. They're super high risk, but it's super satisfying when they go on. So stay tuned, check all 3 out, and more importantly, make sure you give them a go. Okay, let's get into it. So the first variation we're going to look at is often dubbed the fastest serve in the world, and it's performed from the forehand corner, and it's often delivered cross court. It's the longest part of the table, so it gives you much more chance of getting that ball on. It's super high risk because we're going for maximum speed, so our timing and our height needs to be really good, but it's super satisfying when it does go on. So from this position, I'm going to be stood quite square on. I'm going to be letting the ball drop as low as I can, aiming as close as I can. And then from this position here, I'm going to try and show my backhand rubber. And then I'm looking to hit over the top of the ball as hard and as fast as I can. Let's see how I get on. I haven't got one yet. My instinct is to slow down, but then it's not the fastest serve in the world. So I've got to keep going with pace. I need to find my timing. Okay. I'm having a little bit more success just by coming around it a little bit more. I think it's helping me keep it lower. So I'm going to keep going with that, see if I can make one. Okay, I'm going to abandon that technique. I think I need to go over the top of it a little bit more. I think here I was slowing down a bit. I've lost the quality, so I'm going to go back to going over the top. I'm glad I did. That is tough to make. I mean, some of these professionals that have used this serve in the past, they're consistent at delivering this. This is tough. I've just served 50, 60, 70 balls and made one out of pure luck. That is a tough serve. I'm going to finish the bucket off, see if I can make any more. Whew. That's close. Last one. One with a couple of close ones. Really tough. But the one that went on was fun. See? So I think the key to that one is just trying to perfect the timing, just making sure it's nice and low, really close. I think a lot of the time, because I was focused on pace, I was contacting it a bit too high. That was sometimes pushing it too close to the net. But actually, I got the timing right on one, and I just need to build my consistency with that. And the second risky backhand serve is going to be the reverse tomahawk. A serve that was often used by Ding Ning and Kenta Matsudaira, where they've been using their tomahawk variation and then they're looking to make a change, add some variety in. It's a lot riskier. We can't necessarily see the contact. It's harder to kind of feel and control when we're using this side. certainly when compared to using this side. So let's have a little look. Let's see how I get on. Hopefully I can make more than one. Now, I know from last time that I need to make sure that I'm contacting, again, nice and low and squatting down with the ball. Otherwise, it can end up being this high contact. So I need to make sure that I'm getting down nice and low. And again, my contact at the moment is just a bit too thick. So I'll give myself a minute or so just to feel the ball, make sure I'm getting a better, lighter contact. Okay. Okay, seems like when I time it well, almost at the bottom of the squat, I seem to get a slightly more consistent contact. So I think that's going to be my focus for this one. Bit too thick. Oh, that was a good one. That wasn't. Ooh, getting old, my knees are starting to go. Oof, okay, now let's try some long, fast ones. So on that one, I was trying to roughly catch around net height, halfway up my side of the table. I was getting a short serve every now and again. Now again, I need to make it nice and low, bring that bounce much closer to me. Oh, that was better. Again, I need a thicker contact on this one. It's better. Okay. So starting to get a bit of a feel for it. Don't recommend this one if you've got dodgy knees. That is tough, especially when it's quite repetitive. But again, a satisfying serve, when you catch it right, it's hard to catch it right. Like anything, if you don't use it often enough, you're not going to have a feel. Just spending a few minutes there, I just started to improve my touch. I think I'd certainly have more success with this one than the previous one. And this final variation is going to be similar to the pendulum serve, but instead of using pendulum, we're going to be using the backhand side of the rubber to execute the serve. I can't actually think of any professional players that use this. They probably do, but I've not seen it. I've seen a number of players use it over the years, but I can't think of any pros that use it. So if you're a pro and you're watching, let me know in the comments if you use this one. This is one that I use every now and again. I do try to implement this into my game. People often think that you're joking around or taking the mick or showing off, but I use it as a genuine serve. I practice this. And it's useful. It adds value to my game. Now this one's really useful for me because when I go for my pendulum serve, and I'm already showing this black rubber, so it's not really much of a surprise for them to see me showing this. So I can kind of use that to already execute it. If I was doing this for my pendulum serve and then done this all of a sudden, they'd be very suspicious that something was coming. So because I have this built into my pendulum serve, it allows me to use this a little bit more often. Now here's a little tip that's personal to me. Often I find that people, when they try to do this one, they try and turn their wrist right around and almost hit the ball down the line. And it often ends up being quite bouncy and not that effective. We end up contorting into a bit of an odd shape. Maybe shows our opponent that that's happening. I like to think of it in this way, trying to keep the bat up here, and I'm just trying to come around the outside of the ball. And it might feel like we're going to drag the ball off the side of the table, which if we move slowly, you will. But we're trying to move quick, we're trying to serve the ball fast. And if we're hitting the side of the ball and fast, the ball's going to pretty much go straight. And that just allows me to keep the ball much lower, much closer to me here. I get a much quicker delivery. So I think about kind of wrapping around the outside of the ball. I'm on a roll. Oh, 4. 4. So for me, I'm going to carry on using this one. That's definitely going to remain part of my game. The reverse tomahawk, I could see its potential. I don't know if my knees could put up with it long term. And the fastest serve in the world, for me, that is super high risk. I think even if I practice that a lot, I don't feel like I'm going to get the benefit. I certainly don't feel as though I'd be confident enough to execute that in a match under pressure. Maybe possible for some people. I think that's one I'm going to park for the minute. So that is 3 high-risk backhand serves. Please go and give them a try and let me know which ones you're going to go and try as well. Expect some mistakes. They're bound to happen, as you've seen. We learn from the mistakes. So yeah, don't worry too much about them. Okay, go and have some fun.